Hello friends, Valkyrie here. This is quite a bit of a different video. I will be sort of doing a little tutorial on Mastadon. How to get started and so on and so forth. But before we dive into it, I kind of wanted to bring attention to what it is and what it isn't, right? So, and I will have this docs.joinmastodon.org. I'll have this in the description below for people who really want to dive into it. But they give some examples, like, you know, Mastodon's federated, and they talk about centralized, federated, distributed. How, you know, centralized is pretty much what most people are used to. Your Twitters, your Facebooks, your Instagrams. Federated is your, you know, an example they have is like email, XMPP, phone networks, physical mail. How that's all federated, as in it's, you know, it's connected, but it's not all from one source. And then distributed. How, you know, I think they should just put BitTorrent there and left it there, but because BitTorrent's a good example of a distributed network. And then some people who aren't aware of Mastodon is, well, it's a microblogging site. There are some people who seem to be confused on what Mastodon is. Like, some people have approached it as if it was like a Facebook, or they thought it was going to be that, or they thought it was going to be like an Instagram, but it's a microblogging site. And, you know, it's sort of a place where, and you know, this page dives into more things about the back end, like ActivityPub and stuff. But I do recommend people dive into this and read everything. Like, if you have time, just read through it all. But I'm going to be covering the basics. So I just wanted to at least bring this to people's attention. So let's get into the basics. So Mastodon, you know, it's a federated social media platform. As we all know, Twitter is hilariously burning down. I never thought in my lifetime I would see someone take $44 billion and just burn it so quickly. So that kind of, you know, for me, you know, for a bit of background, I won't go on too long. You know, I avoided Twitter for the longest time, literally. No joke. I avoided it for the longest time. And only because I started recently streaming and whatnot, I started using Twitter. Because I had friends of mine who were like, hey, Valk, you're streaming. Advertise your stream on social media. Connect with people. You know. And you know what, though? It paid off. It literally paid off. Like, it made sense to do. I'm not saying I've had tremendous growth, but I've had a few people here or there. You know, I've had people pop in, oh, I found your stream from Twitter. Stuff like that. So that's why I started using Twitter. I'm coming at this from a different point of view. I've been using Twitter for a very short period of time. I'm not heavily attached. However, I do have a lot of comrades and friends who have been using it for a long time, and it's understandable why they're dealing with it the way they're dealing with it, right? You know, these are groups of people in different communities who use Twitter as like a space to express themselves and everything else, and it sucks what's happening. And I kind of had a post about this on Twitter, oddly enough. But, you know, I just want people to know, like, it's not the end of the world, right? It's not the end of the world. We will continue moving forward, and we will look at options like Mastodon, and that's what we're going to do today. So let's dive into it, right? So the first thing I hear from people with Mastodon, right, and they have some information on here, and I'm not going to go through it all. Anyone who's interested in this can look through it. But the first thing people get hung up on is they come here and they say, all right, I'm going to create an account, and this is what happens. They're just like, wait, servers? What do you mean servers? I thought it was like Twitter. I just make an account and go. No, Mastodon has servers. These are called home instances. And they are things you join tailored to what you like or don't like, you know? So if you don't like something, let's say you don't like, I don't know, you don't like pictures of birds. Well, don't join an instance that's all about pictures with birds, right? Just as an example, it's a silly one. But a server is your home instance, and I will be showing off my home instance. which is eldritch.cafe. But this is where people get hung up. They say, all right, I see all this, what's going on? You know, and something I want to comment on very slightly. Union.place. This popped up very recently. At least on the front page here. Maybe it was a thing prior. But union organizers and members and friends and allies are already set up their own spot. Right? And I guaranteed you a lot of Amazon labor union folks, a lot of Starbucks, Workers United folks, they're probably all going to go to this sort of place. Because they realize Twitter is done. It's done. So they're probably going to go here. And, you know, continue their efforts. I don't think they'll be sharing, like, sensitive information on there, but probably just a place to, like, talk to each other. And any sensitive stuff, I'm knowing union organizers the way they are, any sensitive stuff's on Signal or Telegram. But it's good to see that. This is fantastic. And, you know, they have other stuff, you know, if you're a web designer or a developer, well, they have an entire, you know, place just for that. An entire server for just that. And they have all these other ones here, too. So this is where people get hung up on. Like, gaming, right now there are no gaming. Nothing public, anyway. Alright? And that doesn't mean, like, if you join a gaming instance, you can't talk about something else there. Granted, every instance has different rules. And you have to adhere to those rules. And that's kind of what makes it a curated place. For better or worse. You know, if you like art, you know, creators.social, you know, if you're just all about the art, maybe that's a place you want to go. You have LGBTQ, right? Mastadon.lol is like the only place that's openly accepting people. I was on Mastadon.lol, right? Great place. Cool people. But I got an invite from a friend for eldritch.cafe, so I moved my account. Yes, you can move your account. Or redirect your account to a new account. That's basically what I did. So you're not stuck on an instance either. So what I would say for people when they say, where should I go? I would say the first thing you should do is explore these things, right? Explore them. Figure out what works for you. What is it? Let's say I liked, just for the sake of demonstration, let's say I like technology. And let's say I wanted to join, I don't know, anything here, right? I wanted to join this, right? Social.linux.pizza. Hypothetically, right? So this is what you're gonna get. Right, you have to create an account, and you do all that stuff. So this is kind of what, although sometimes they do have a different landing page, but this is kind of what you're gonna see. And you would want to learn more about the server. Well, this is the admin here. You'd want to learn more, let's say, about the server rules, right? So you would look here, very simple, 3 rules. Don't promote violence or racism. Don't post ads without permission. And don't post not safe for work stuff without a content warning, right? And there's all these moderated servers as well. So, and that's not really important. I think these are things they limit or block entirely depending on the activity. But that's just an example, right? And then you would go here to create an account. You'd say, I accept, right? And then you would fill out your stuff. Just an example. Although the big one would be, hold on, is Mastadon.social, I think, right? Let me just type this. This one right here, I think, is the big one. Yeah. So, I was mistyping it, so don't mind that. But Mastodon.social is like, this is where everyone's fleeing to, right? Because it is the largest instance. So if you want a home instance that's like the most general imaginable, Mastodon.social is. They're already at 234,000 active users. This one instance is at 234 active users. 234,000 active users. My bad. Look, we got George Takei here. So you already have celebrities going to Mastodon, right? Now, thankfully, depending on the instance, there are instances that don't allow any sort of influencer branding or ads or anything like that. I don't think Mastodon.social will turn into that. You know, we could look at their rules, for example. Like, what are their server rules? You know, do not share intentionally false and misleading information. No content illegal in Germany. No harassment, dogpiling, and doxing. No incitement of violence, promotion of violent ideologies. No racism, sexism, homo... You know, common sense stuff. No sexual explicit content or violent media. Very simple to understand. There's no wrong with that. And they have some contact information here for the admin. So when we look at that, right, and you already have people like, and I'm just using George Takei as an example. So you have someone like George Takei here, already on Mastodon, you know, and you just have people sharing different things. Like this is like, I would say, all right, I would say if you're going to join a server, just join Mastodon.social. Like if you don't know where to go, just join this. Like if you don't want a tailored server to your interests, just join this and call it a day. But that's what you would do. You would go through the sign up process and so on and so on. And you know what? In the description below, I'll put Mastodon.social if that's something people want. That way they'll know exactly where to go. So with that being said, you know, we've gone over home instances on how people could talk to each other. Which, you know, it's federated. Everyone can talk to each other. And I'm going to do an example. We're going to take George Takei here. I'm going to copy, right? It's a perfect, oh my god, perfect little demo. I'm going to take George Takei's address here, right? And I'm going to hop over to my instance. So we're going to go over to the eldritch.cafe. And it's going to look a lot different because I have things laid out completely differently on mine. Because Mastodon is somewhat flexible, both as an aesthetic as well as how you have your layout. But we're going to hop over here. Oh, very much different. Very much different. And like I already can tell, some people will be like, oh, I'm annoyed because this federated thing keeps moving on its own and stuff like that. And it's like, that's fine. You could change that in the settings. All this could be changed, right? And we're gonna go here. I think I posted that yesterday and I forgot to delete it. But anyway, so we go here, right? We're gonna hit enter. Look at that! Look at that! Whole different instance. Hey, George Takei. Pull him up. Look at that. See, I have mine set up a lot differently. I have mine as, here's my little, like, box to post things or search for stuff. Here's my home instance, right? So my home instance is right here. Then I have my local timeline. Actually, no, home. My bad. I misspoke. This is not a home instance. My home is people I follow and whatever they're posting or replying to or boosting. Okay. Local timeline, this is the home instance I'm on, right? So local is everyone who's on eldritch.cafe. Right. Forgive me, I misspoke and I won't edit it out. It's a simple mistake. But here's, you know, so all this stuff on my local timeline, right here, that I'm scrolling, this is all Eldritch Cafe, folks. And then federated, this is everybody, right? This is like the friggin' world here. Or as many servers as people are connected to. This is your federated content. Like, there's a few people I follow who aren't even on the cafe. Like, you know, Gaming on Linux. they're not on Eldritch Cafe. Now, I could follow George Takai. I'd rather not. But, you know, I just wanted to use that as an example. But Gaming on Linux, for example. I love Gaming on Linux. They're on Mastodon.social. Yet, I follow them. I can reply to their posts. You know. I could set my notification. I don't set everything to notify me when they post. I just look through my timeline. You know. Although that's an option too. You know, and you could scroll through seeing what they're posting. You know, here they have the new System 76 Stelio Major desktop. That's, it's so nice looking. Well, I'm not going to get distracted by that. But that's sort of, you know, and then I have my notifications over here, right? So I can see who replied, who favorited, who boosted, who followed. So this person just followed me, right? So who is this person? Let's look at this. We're going to do this live. Author, writer, researcher, developer, programmer, graphic artist, digital journalist. They followed me, but I don't... Do I want to follow them? I don't know. Here's their original post. Okay, so... Hello world. Basic stuff. Alright. Here's the thing, you know what? Everyone's pretty nice on Mastodon. I will give this friend a follow. Look at that. A follow! He's gotten a follow from me because he followed me. Why not? But that's an example. And again, they're on Universadon.com. Completely different instance, yet they still found me. That's what people need to get past, right? They need to get past the whole thing with... oh, we're doing good time. Because I'm covering a lot faster. They need to get past the whole thing with instances. So, the next thing I know people will ask, right? Because this pretty much, this covers it. Like, there's no more stuff to talk about with that. So now I know people will ask, well, there's a DM issue. Direct messages. That's a problem, right? No, it's not a problem. Stop getting hung up on it. Here's why I say stop getting hung up on it. Somehow people are okay with corporations having access to all of their DMs, right? They're somehow okay with that. But when it comes to like a server admin having access to it, they're suddenly worried about it, right? My view is this. Let's say, you know, I'll put it this way. Don't use DMs. Just don't. Why use them? If you have, my view is if you have some real sensitive information that you want to share with somebody, exchange alternative messaging services, right? Hey, here's my Telegram. Oh, here's how you can reach me on Signal. Here's Element. Oh, here's my Discord ID. Anything else but Mastodon. And here's the funny thing about Mastodon. At least everyone I've encountered and asked who have been using Mastodon for a while, no one does DMs. No one does DMs on Mastodon. There's no reason to. I don't know why people are caught up on the DMs. My view is if you are really exchanging some sensitive data, there are better platforms to exchange said data. Straight up. There's better platforms to exchange that data. And I would recommend people to use those platforms, like the ones I mentioned. Because if you're worried about someone having access to your DMs, I have bad news for you. Twitter has always had access to your DMs. All these other social media platforms have always had access to your DMs. If this is a privacy concern, you gave up that privacy long ago using those sorts of platforms. I even go further. Your DMs were probably sold as data to some broker who knows what they're using it for. Like, people need to stop getting hung up on that. It's annoying. It's kind of dumb, to be honest. It really is. I hate to use that word, but it kind of is dumb. It's like, oh, DMs. Don't DM. I'm not DMing. I'll never DM anybody on this fucking platform. Just full stop. I have no interest in DMing anyone on Mastodon. And I don't think anyone should DM each other on Mastodon. Again, there's better platforms for that. However, for what Mastodon is, right? When we look at what it is, it's fine. Like, this is all the stuff, like, these people I'm following, right? And they seem okay. These people are okay. I would say this, though. There are some features of Mastodon that, you know, I think have a bonus over, they have a bonus over, let's say, Twitter. You know, you have filters, for example, right? And I even talked about this when I posted on my Twitter, right? So we go in here, filters. Look at that. When you filter words out, you will never see anything mention these words. First thing I did, Ukraine, Poland, Russia. I'm just tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of it, right? I don't want to hear about it. It's just, it's awful shit. So I filtered it out. Guess what? I don't hear anything about Ukraine, Poland, or Russia. You have Solarpunk, spelled two different ways, you know, one together, one separated, and then 8.out. That made my life easier after getting rid of that. I'm probably going to have a huge list of filters at some point. And that's the great thing with Mastodon. You could just, hey, I don't want to hear about this. Okay. Block out that word. Move on. It's made my life a lot easier on here. You know. That's pretty much it. And then people ask about flavors. So I'm using the Mastodon 95 theme. You have your default theme, high contrast, Mastodon Lite, and this. Then with Glitch Edition, it's slight difference, but then you have high contrast and Mastodon Lite. There was a custom theme called Witch Colors on this instance, but unfortunately that went away. I think something might have broke on their back end and they had to remove it. But I just use Mastodon 95. I like it. It's kind of silly. Right. And the other thing I was going to say with, regardless of, you know, I see a lot of people, I don't want to be called tanky. Right. Like, you know, and I'm a Marxist-Leninist, and I posted on here. Where is it? I had a post. Yeah, I'm trying to find just my posts. Yeah. I had a post, I put all my I put like a bunch of books I have. I posted this. Right. No negative comments. No one calling me names because I read Kim Il-sung. Or that the fact most of this is ML literature and, you know, the Red Nation stuff's kind of a mix. Nothing like that. I made a long post about trying to extend an olive branch of sorts. No bad reactions to that. I haven't had a problem. Honestly, you know... Now, could I have a problem? Possibly. You know, I'm not saying this is perfect, but I have found Mastodon, and again, you might have to filter stuff out you don't want to see, but I have found Mastodon to be a pretty welcoming place. And really nice people. And I think what I would like to see, and this is a bit idealist, but what I would like to see is people learn from the mistakes of Twitter and not repeat that on Mastodon. Simple. Let's not have stupid fucking toxic fights with each other. Instead, let's just try to enjoy this space. That's what I would hope. But I would hope this was informative. I know it was a bit long, about 25 minutes, but I feel I've covered everything there is to cover on Mastodon. So, you know, feel free to use the links below. Feel free to like, dislike, subscribe, whatever. Although I hope you didn't dislike this video. I enjoyed making it. But anyways, I'm going to head off. You all take care, stay safe, have a great day.